Welcome to Eddie's Corner, Mental Health Talk, brought to you by HTL Music and Entertainment LLC. Tonight's live was supposed to feature Miss Eden Sharp and Georgia Nubia. Georgia may tap in just a little bit. Eden's not feeling well, and so we're going to do something a little bit different tonight. She may be able to log on, she may not be able to log on. But I'm going to type the questions that I was going to ask right in the comments. And I'd like for the viewers, whoever would like to patch in, I can invite you onto the live, or you can request to be brought on the live, and you can come on the camera and you can answer that question. Okay? That was suggested to me to get a little bit more engagement. So I'd like to welcome you to this live. I decided not to cancel for tonight, even though I'm not quite sure what's going on with the second guest, but the first guest is not feeling well and may not be able to log on tonight. So I'm going to reiterate just in case you were not on when I said it. I placed the questions that I was going to ask in the comments. And if you'd like to tackle a question and request to come on the camera and speak a little bit on that question, do a little dialogue, just request to enter the chat by video and I'll let you on and we'll have us a convo on the video. You'll be one of my featured guests tonight, spontaneously. How's everyone doing out there tonight? If you logged on, just give me a greeting in the chat. Say hey. If you're having a hard time hearing me, just let me know. I might have a bit of a slow connection. How's everybody doing out there tonight? Gonna give everyone a chance to get on. Hey, Georgia. All right, I think the other person is trying to log on. All right, just bear with us. How's things looking on your end, Georgia? Are you able to? There we go. Okay, Georgia. Try that again. I tried to accept you into the live. Just request it again. It said that you were having some technical issues. All right, let's see if this live is going to act right. Okay, I just got a message from our guest tonight. She said she will be logging in soon. Looks like we have a slow connection. Okay, I think there's a slow connection. Try it again, Georgia. Hey, Kendall. We're having some connection issues, so here we go. Phone is saying slow connection again. Okay, we're gonna keep trying. It keeps saying slow connection. Alrighty. Is there anybody on this live right now that's able to see me clearly, able to hear me clearly? Just comment in the comments. Hey, Lakeisha, how are you? We're trying to get the connection right. All right. Finally, the connection is doing what it needs to do. I think. Eden, are you there? Okay, let's try again. Okay, so Facebook is acting funny. Okay, I'm gonna try you again, Eden. Okay, did it work this time?
I think
All
so.
right, awesome. Awesome.
Awesome.
All right. Not quite sure what's going on with these lives. They're kind of glitchy.
You know, they always touching something. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Good to hear your voice. Glad everything is okay.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well, a little bit tired. I rested most of the day. I have a big show coming up, so I'm getting things together for that Friday.
Awesome.
And just
Fan-
I just want to be ready whenever it happens. It's a really big opportunity. So just making sure I got everything lined up so I won't have to do a lot of stuff last minute.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
As
As you should.
you know how that adds to the nerves if you do want a whole lot
Oh,
of
for sure.
stuff last minute.
For sure.
So um, tonight's topic, as you already know, is self-love.
Hmm.
And so we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into it. So introduce yourself and let our audience know who you are and what you do.
Alrighty. Well, hi everyone. My name is Eden Sharp. I am a few things. I am a writer, an actress, a voice actress, and a singer-songwriter. Um, I wear a lot of hats. My aunt jokes and says that I must have been Jamaican in a past life because I got 13 jobs, and it's just I found that I like to express myself, and so I do so via any medium necessary. On a business side, I am a graphic designer, so if anybody needs any graphic needs, you just let me know. But happy to be here. So thank you for inviting me.
Awesome. It's great to have you here. I've, I've worked with you on set
Hmm.
before, and I love your energy. I love your vibe.
Ah,
So
thank
I know
you.
you,
I do everything.
yes, a ball of sunshine. I know, and positivity, and I know you bring that everywhere you go. I felt it's authentic, and so I definitely appreciated it being on set with you.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. It really does. And that was such a special project too. So I am so happy to know that. Thank you.
So just in case someone doesn't know, what I do. I do some of the same things. I'm HT and I do film. I'm an actor, but I'm also a director and a writer, a poet, storyteller. To me, all that runs into one. And
Mhm.
a singer, of course. I sing with Motown of South Carolina. And the obvious, I guess we can call this a podcast, right?
Yeah, hey,
Yeah,
speak it into existence. I know that's right.
yeah. Mental health
Yes.
advocate. I'm really big into herbs and natural health and it's bringing the community together through the arts. I'm the owner of HT Hill Music and Entertainment LLC, and this talk is a spinoff of our mental health series called Inside Eddie. So since the month of mental health awareness is here, we're here just bringing up different topics that carry weight in the mental health community and that definitely need to be talked about.
Mhm.
So speaking of self-love, what is your definition of self-love?
My definition of self love is 100% acceptance of yourself, even when you're not perfect. A lot of us can profess and proclaim that we love ourselves, but it usually is when we are riding high. You can go anywhere, do anything, you feel like you've made it. Most people will say that I love me for this in those moments. But when the tables turn, or you haven't made it to that moment yet, a lot of us do self loathe and self hate. So, the true definition of loving yourself is acceptance of yourself through all your seasons, through all your ups and downs when you are not totally perfect. That's what it means to me.
Mm, I got a lot from that. That was very profound and
Thank
direct.
you.
It brought to light that a lot of people have a conditional love
Hmm.
for themselves. And just like you said, they'll say, I love me for this. But when
Hmm.
something unexpected happens, or when life doesn't look the way
You want
some people
it
think it
to?
should, yeah, then
Hmm.
it's easy to kind of hate yourself for poor
Yeah.
decisions, or say, for example, if a person loses their eyesight or loses an arm, you know, self love, to me, if you truly love yourself, then you still love yourself wholesomely. With
Yeah.
or without that ability, you love you,
Hmm.
you accept you totally, like you said, in all situations, in all seasons. That was a beautiful definition, and I don't think it gets any better than that. I totally agree.
Thank you. Yeah. And we don't get it right every day. It's a process for sure. There are going to be some days where you feel like you love yourself a little more today or a little less tomorrow, but the goal is to just keep striving for it. Um, because a lot of people don't know that your body hears how you talk to it, and some things do just happen, but other things you can bring on yourself because your body can feel it. It's the same way that you can talk to trees, like you see all those videos where people are saying, "Hey, tree, if you can hear me, like
Yeah.
reach out and touch me." The same thing. Your body does the same exact thing. Um, and so it's easy to be like, I'm so stupid for this if you make a mistake. So don't say I'm stupid. Just say I made a mistake. Mistakes are growth. Stupid saying you're stupid stunts your growth.
Yes.
So you gotta just be careful in how you speak to yourself, and just know that if you are not at complete and total self love today, you can get there. You can get there. And it doesn't always have to be spa days, because a lot of us mistake self love and self
Yeah.
care.
Yes.
It doesn't always have to be spa days. It can literally just writing a love letter to yourself, or just wake up, look in the mirror, and if you don't think it, continue to say, I look pretty. Keep doing those things. And that is how you see past whatever your flaws are, to get to the space where you're like, you know what? I do like me. I do love me.
Yes. I was actually outside today, and
Hmm.
I saw those videos that you were talking about the tree. I love those videos, how people talk to
Everything.
trees. And I have a fig tree actually, and
Oh,
I've
nice.
had a little baby fig tree for about a year now, and I thought it died last year.
Hmm.
All of the leaves
Mm,
went off of it. It was just a stick in the dirt, and I had three
mm,
total, and I threw the other two away. But this particular one I
mm.
kept because it actually had begun to spring out leaves, even though
Wow.
at that point I felt like it was dead like the rest. But I felt attached to that one. I felt that it might have been a possibility that there was still some life in that one. So
Hmm.
thankfully, yeah, I went out there one day and I noticed noticed that it was doing something. I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
so now it's really springing forth, and I might have to take it out of the tub that it's in because it's growing so fast. But every time
Yeah.
I get ready to pass by Fred, that's what I call it. Uh,
I love
yeah,
that.
I call him Fred, and I don't pass by him without speaking to him and telling him how
Mhm.
great he's doing, how proud I am that he's growing, and just making observations, telling the plant that it's strong and to continue
Mhm.
to grow, continue to tap into its greatness. And that's what we have to
Yeah.
do
That's a word right
for
there.
ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah, even when we don't feel it. Because, even though I'm on here doing this talk, I don't always feel it. I don't always feel great.
Mhm.
But if we be honest with ourselves, but we don't always feel that. We don't always feel that confidence. But I've learned to just keep on moving and to
Yeah.
just to appreciate myself and get, create a pattern
Mhm.
of recognizing my own greatness and celebrating that. I think that's totally different than being arrogant.
Oh, for sure. For sure. For sure. And that's a beautiful thing. And we all should. But I think the admission of I don't feel this every day is what makes you human. So many will get on these apps and fake it. But like I do this every day. Buy my book and live your perfect life like I have all my life. And it's just
Right.
like, yeah,
I woke
but
up
this
like
is just I mean, it's your season right now. You know what I mean?
that.
No shade. Enjoy your season, but just don't lead people to think that you didn't go through something to get there.
Yes,
hmm
that is so
Everything
true.
everything is a process. Everything.
Have you ever struggled with loving yourself, and why?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Still struggle. Thank God for therapy. But I have most of my self-loathing really came, I'll say more. Like you go through your teenage years where you're just like, I hate everything,
Yeah.
right? Um, but for me recently, a lot of mine started after I went through chemotherapy. I'm a cancer survivor, and there are some days where I feel like I survived, and other days where I just feel like the cancer never left. And while I did beat cancer, I will never knock that triumph. Um, the battle gave me new friends that I have to live with. So I have a cognitive impairment now. I have physical ailments that I did not have before. And so a lot of days I just feel like my body failed me. And um, like I can't have children anymore. And so there are days where I don't feel like a whole woman. And it's hard to accept those things and because you got to do it daily, you know. But a lot of my self-hatred came from that, and it's just a cycle of, you failed, your body failed, you can't do this anymore, you can't do that anymore. And so you start to just resent the thing that you're living inside because it's like you're literally not doing what I need you to do. You're not doing what you were born to do. Um, and so every day is a choice to continue to love me despite what I've been through, despite what I have to deal with. And I recently did an exercise where I mourned the me that didn't show up.
Mm,
And a lot of us have to do that. We come into adulthood with a plan, and it's like, I want to have, I want to be married by this age, I want to have kids by this age, I want to have a house, I want to have a car,
yeah.
and I want to do this career. You've got it all planned out, and then life will be like, nah.
Right.
And a lot of times you get stuck because you're still wanting the person that you planned, and they're not here. And so I've recently started practicing that, just allowing myself to grieve her. And the more you grieve the loss, allow it to be a loss and grieve it as a loss, as you would someone who passed away. The more you can accept that that person is gone, but it doesn't mean that you're not still here. There's a version of you that is here, and you have to get to know that person, accept that person, love on that person. Because if you do, that person may not be the identical match to whatever your plan was, but that
Yeah,
person can still thrive. So that's where I'm at. Um, Learning to love this version of myself with all these new people I live with, and allowing her to figure out how to thrive.
that's amazing. That exercise you spoke of, is it something that you can share on here, or does it is it
It
complex?
it kind of ends up being a thing where you do it in a way that speaks to you.
Okay.
And so I'm a writer, and so that is the language that comes to me the loudest. And so I'm writing a short film for her that I will, actively participate in order to grieve her. I also wrote a poem to accommodate it. But for if you are like a visual person and you want to really lean into the exercise, write on a piece of paper what you want it to be, get you a little treasure box from the dollar store, actually bury it, put it to rest, and cover it and pray over it and say, hey, here lies you. I'm letting you go with love. And then the day after you do that, just start actively learning who you are in this space right now. And learn who that is. Date yourself. My goodness, date yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I literally I used to, and I'm gonna start back, but I remember I took a year to date myself. I took myself out to eat once a week, even if it was to just Chick-fil-A, and I got cute like I was going on a date, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And actively do that. But that is the exercise, and it's really helpful. You'll cry. You'll be a mess. I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna be a mess. Okay. You're gonna ugly cry. It's not all of it. It's gonna be that if you're honest with it.
That's
If
part
you're
of the
not
healing
honest with it, it may not.
process.
But if you're honest with it, yeah.
Yeah, it's part of the healing.
Mm,
Healing, it doesn't look pretty,
mm,
but it is a beautiful process. And when you described that mourning the person that didn't show up, the version of you that
mm,
didn't show up, it reminded me of dealing with divorce, because
mm,
yeah, you're dealing with a loss. You're dealing with it feels like death, actually,
yeah.
even though you're both living. So you mourn, me personally, I mourned the potential of the
Yeah.
relationship. There was
Yeah.
so much expectation, just like with any relationship in the beginning. You make
Mm,
plans and you expect for them to happen, and you invest
mm,
yourself into that. So it feels like a part of you dies. And that promise, that plan, it hurt.
mm,
It hurts. And that's something that I encouraged people that I came in contact with that were dealing with the same thing to acknowledge that it's okay to to name those feelings and to take your time and process and to actually mourn the potential of
yeah.
that relationship. Just don't stay there for the rest of your life.
Right.
Date your,
Right.
date yourself. Learn who you are without that person in your life. Embrace
Mm-hmm.
the new opportunities that are going to come your way, and totally accept yourself where you are and know that you will not always be there. It's all
Mm-hmm.
part of the journey. You grow, you go through different levels, and embrace every season and the lessons that they carry.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It could be smooth and bumpy, but you will get there for sure. For sure.
Oh, yeah. All a part of the,
Hmm.
what Miley Cyrus say in her song, The Climb.
It, it's the climb, yes. I
That's
love that song.
that's one of my favorites. That she did
Absolutely.
her
Me
big one with
too.
that.
And she did. She did. Miley can sing. People don't like her, but I love her. She can. That girl be singing, and she is one of those people who was 1,000% herself, even if it was ugly. She never ran from it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and
Hmm.
even that, that type of authenticity, some people hate it. They hate
Yep.
you for it. And I used to wonder why. I'm just, when you're just being yourself and you're minding your business.
They can't because they can't. A lot of people are angry at people because they're jealous, envious. You can be something that they can't be, or you are yourself and they can't be, or they feel like they can't be. Most oftentimes, that's what it is.
That makes
Mm-hmm.
perfect sense.
Yep. Misplaced anger and wishes.
Do we have anybody out there on the live? Looks like Facebook is not really cooperating with us.
It's okay. I believe my cousin is here. And if you are, hey, cousin.
All right. Looks like Cleveland Anthony Wilson tapped in. I'm not sure if he's still here. Georgia Nubia, Carly Town, Nicole Galloway. But on my end, it's saying only one person's here.
And you know, if you reach that one, that's what the purpose was.
That's true.
And you can always share it later. You can always share it
What's
later.
your cousin's name?
Imani.
That's my daughter's name. I don't see her name
Oh,
in.
I am not sure.
Okay, I think you already answered the other question. Um, the question was, how did your self love journey begin?
Hmm. It was not. It's still. I did and didn't answer it. It was. It was a day where I was sitting around the house and he's like, yeah, you catch yourself in the mirror.
Yeah,
And for the first time to me, a lot of people will say, I don't look like what I've been through.
yeah,
For the first time to me, I looked every bit like what I had been through. And that scared me. And I was like, okay, we got to do something. We got to do something different. I looked like I had stopped caring about myself. And it was just like, I don't know how I'm going to climb out of this hole, but today I'm going to choose to start.
mm,
And sometimes it just takes a shock to your system for you to wake up. And the hope is that the shock isn't, a one that is costly as far as life or, something like that.
yeah.
But sometimes a shock to your system is the one thing that'll be like, get up, wash your face, you know what I mean? um, Put on a different pair of clothes, and yeah, that that was mine. That was probably it was a few months ago, and again, not perfect, and I will never proclaim to be, but just day by day, and it's harder on days where I don't feel well, where I am sick. But it's just like what? It's not the best day, but tomorrow can be better. Or I don't feel well today, and that's okay. Like that is the one trick that my therapist gave me that helps. Say whatever your thought is, the honest to goodness truth, and end it with, and that's okay.
And that's okay. Okay.
hmm So, for example, I am mad at everybody today,
And that's
and that's okay.
okay.
I'm sick, and I feel like sugar honey iced tea, and that's okay. Because it is, you know? You're not going to harm anybody, but you're giving yourself space to feel your emotions so they don't fester. Because your emotions are people. They are people that are tuned in to different frequencies of you, and they only talk to you in every frequency that is. So it's like inside out.
Yeah,
They had happy and anger and fear. Your body has those.
yeah.
And they're only tuned into certain frequencies. But like when they didn't pay attention to sadness, she was talking, but nobody was talking back to her. So she went around touching stuff. That's what your emotions do when you don't pay attention. They go around touching stuff, knocking stuff over, and now you feel crazy because she done knocked the vase off your heart. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So it's like, okay, you got to talk to her. You know. So when you mad, you know what? I am pissed off at everybody today, and that's okay. I was gonna stay in my room, and that's gonna be okay too, right?
Yes.
But you give yourself that space to feel what you feel because you got to honor it. You have to honor it. Don't act on it if it's dangerous, but you can honor it, and that's the key.
Well, wow, that's so true. I can't really say
Mhm.
anything after that except for to move to the next space. You put it so you said it so plainly and so well, and it
Thank
should
you.
definitely be received and completely understood by every listener. You really broke it down. I, I feel
I
like
love to teach.
I feel like whenever it's done, things are done that way, you validate yourself
Yeah.
instead of looking for that validation outside of yourself, which
Hmm.
a lot of people are taught to do, and
Yeah.
it leads to disappointment.
Yeah. It definitely can. It definitely can. And um, I notice how everybody always says that an adult issue is a childhood issue that never got paid attention to.
Yeah,
It could actually be just programming we got as kids, right? And we all learn external validation in school immediately. You
yeah,
get an A plus, you feel great.
yes,
You get an F, you feel like scum,
right,
right?
right,
And you're like, but I did my best. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm just a bad test taker,
right.
right? Um, so grades really can mess you up real bad. But it's also just definitely have to figure out how to, in spite of grade systems and promotions and bonuses, right? Because all of those are still grades and by different names, how to keep honoring the work that you did do. It may not have gotten me that thing, but I still did good. I still gave it my best. But again, be honest. Because if
Right.
you didn't give your best, you got to acknowledge that too. Be like, you know what? I didn't earn it. Don't even worry about it, right?
Yeah.
That it's where accountability comes in. You got to do all of it.
This is the perfect segue into the word of the week because I think it's very important that we don't internalize everything. Yes,
Hmm.
we should acknowledge it, but we shouldn't always attach it to who we are at our core. Like we are
Yeah.
saying, we shouldn't call ourselves stupid because we didn't pass a test.
Hmm.
Our response
Hmm.
should be, well, I didn't pass this time, and that's okay. For whatever reason, I need to study more or I need to go at it at a different angle. But I'm not
Hmm.
going to label myself as unintelligent or stupid.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
our word of the week is self esteem. What does that mean
Hmm.
to you?
Self-esteem is basic is how do you view yourself? How do
Okay.
you honor yourself? What kind of pedestal are you setting yourself on? How high is it? How low is it? It's where you position yourself to you.
Okay. So, pretty much how we
Mhm.
feel about ourselves.
Exactly. Exactly. Or how you don't feel. Some people just don't feel anything about themselves, and that's unfortunate. But just yeah, how you feel about yourself and why. Is it your own thoughts of you, or is it someone else's thoughts that you took on as yours? Because a lot of our feelings oftentimes are not our feelings. They were feelings that somebody else had, and we wear them instead of, you know, not even looking. Because how somebody thinks of you, how somebody views you, none of your business.
Yes, that's one of my
Absolutely
favorite
none.
quotes. What other people think of you is none of your business. And
None of your
I
business.
live by that daily.
Mm-hmm.
Someone can come to me and say, "Well, so and so said, no, I don't want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm amazing. I'm special. Those positive affirmations. And I
Yeah.
had struggled with that at one point in my life because of the things I encountered when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately in religious circles.
That's a
And
whole
so,
other
right,
episode.
because a lot of times you're taught that if you think too much of yourself, then oh, you're prideful.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
you're feeling yourself. You're smelling yourself. That's not of God.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to think well of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
God thinks well of us, so
Yeah.
why shouldn't we think well of
We,
ourselves?
Jesus know well of himself.
Right.
Jesus walked into a room knowing he was that man. That I was trying not to say the N word, you know what I'm saying? But he knew who he was.
Yeah.
But still, he was able to be confident in who he was, but he was still accessible to people, and that's the difference.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can be confident in yourself, but not be um, standoffish or push people away as if they're beneath you. You know?
Right. Right. That's a totally different vibe. One
Mm-hmm.
vibe gives people permission or encourages them to do the same thing. Be themselves and own the
Mm-hmm.
space that they're in. Be confident
Right.
and walk into their
Right.
destiny. And the other one tears people down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's very true. That's very true. And I was actually two things. Um, one, I've gone through that same struggle of being concerned about how others view you or um, people talking about you. And my mom told me something, and it has stuck to me and with me to this day. And she said, "Your friends, no, your enemies won't believe an explanation. Your friends don't need one."
Mm,
Right. I was like, "Now you said something, ma'am." Yep. Your friends won't believe an explanation. Your enemies won't believe your explanation. Your friends don't need one. Because your enemy's gonna think what they want about you because it makes them feel better. And your friends that really know you, they're not gonna care. You know what I mean?
yeah.
They accept you as for who you are. And the second thing that came to mind was I was talking to one of my best friends, and he called me to he read something I wrote, and he's like, "This is fantastic." And I was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much for reading it." He was like, "Why are you thanking me?" I was like, "Aren't you supposed to? Like, is that not courteous?" He was like, "Okay." He said, "I get the sentiment, but like," he said, "you're great. And you need to know that. You need to accept that. You need to act like it." Because he was like, too many people, especially black people, are taught to be humble at things that they are good at.
Right.
And he was like, there are people waiting for you. They're waiting for your gift. And you're too busy being humble about it to put yourself out there. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm tuck that away because it's something to think about. You know, we're always taught to downplay ourselves. We can never say just thank you. We have to be like, oh, I'm all right. You know what I mean? Because that's supposed to somehow not make them feel lesser than. But if they feel lesser than, that's on them. That's a problem that they have, not because you did it or made them think that way, you know?
Right. It's like we're taught a false sense of humility.
Correct.
Yeah, that's one thing that I
Correct.
noticed, and I had to personally overcome myself
Mm-hmm.
because of the circles I was in. Unfortunately, the type of the church that I was in, but that's a whole nother broadcast,
Mm-hmm.
like you said. But
Yeah,
thankfully,
for sure.
I'm in a better place, a better mental space, and
Mm-hmm.
the part of myself that was stunted actually began to branch out and grow, and
That's wonderful.
that was my creative side, being able to do music.
Mm.
I was pretty much taught that you singing anything other than gospel, you're going to hell, and I'm like, well, whew, okay, um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
okay,
heard, heard that too, unfortunately. But it's, yeah, I just, yeah, another broadcast for
another
sure.
broadcast.
For sure. We can take a deep dive. We can take a deep dive into there. Um,
Yeah, I don't know what to call
but
it yet.
yeah,
Maybe surviving church, but spiritual abuse.
yeah. And I will add to it. Just we're not saying all church is
Right,
bad.
right.
Okay, that is not the message here. But just there's some things that can be done better.
Certainly, and certainly there's
Hmm.
some good and bad and everything. And I
Hmm.
tell people, Yes, there are healthy churches because it seems like when
Yes,
you get into that topic, it's such a sensitive subject. People will
it
jump
is. It's a
down your
sore
throat
spot.
quickly
Mm-hmm.
and assume that you're
Mm-hmm.
attacking all pastors and all churches, and
Right.
it's not the case.
Nope. 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 Nope.
So,
Mm.
what do you do to keep a healthy mindset towards yourself on the regular?
I honor my feelings, and for me, that was a big thing because I used to shut down my feelings. Um, so honor your feelings. If I am mad, I say I'm mad. If I'm sad, I say I'm sad. And this is also to other people. It's hard, but have necessary conversations that need to have. If you have burning issues with friends or family members, have that conversation. It doesn't have to be rude. It doesn't have to be a screaming match, but just bring it up. You know, um, because what happens is that releases that thing from your body and your psyche when you can talk about those things. Talking about it brings about healing. So I have hard conversations with my mom, with my family members, with friends, just because um, it's necessary. But once you do it, it may be hard doing it, but afterwards you can feel that weight just flutter away because you're not carrying it anymore. Um, Also, find things and pursue the things that bring you absolute joy.
Mm,
So many of us pick practical options, and it's safe. At the end of the day, your brain, like psychologically speaking, I studied psychology part time. But psychologically speaking, your brain wants to keep you safe, which is why when you go to do something outside your comfort zone, heart rate goes up, pain, anxiety kicks
yeah.
in, right? But don't be afraid to choose the thing that brings you absolute joy, even if it is at work. Is that promotion going to bring you joy, or is it going to bring you more stress? If it's going to bring you more stress and it brings you joy being where you are, it's okay to turn it down. On the opposite end, if it will bring you joy, take it. If taking a dance class once a week will bring you joy, take it. Take that class. Because when you do that, you're feeding your inner child. You're feeding that space in you that felt like it was always told no. When we're adults, we forget how to be kids.
Yeah.
You want a Lego set and it's inside your budget, get you that Lego set. I got myself a baby doll for the first time as an adult 2 years ago as a birthday present to myself. Because I wanted it. It brought me joy. Her name is Mimi and she is adorable. Yeah. But do those things that bring you absolute joy because it fills your joy tank. So when something happens, outside of that, you got joy to help get you through it. But if you don't have no joy in your tank and things keep bringing you down, that's where we get stuck in depression. That's where we get stuck in the dark.
Mm,
But
that's a
pursue those
whole other
things.
another broadcast too.
Yeah. Yeah. Pursue those things that bring you absolute joy. That was one thing that I promised myself when I beat cancer. I was like, I'm gonna do those things that make me happy. So I started acting again. I signed myself up for dance class. I started doodling in my sketchbook. I crochet. I crocheted before it was cool. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Um, mhm. I've been crocheting since I was 5 years old. My grandma's best friend, we called her Aunt Cynthia. She was babysitting us, and she was crocheting, and I was like, I want to learn how to do that. So she taught me, and I was making baby doll clothes and blankets for my dolls and everything.
Love that. That's
But it brings me
incredible.
joy. Thank you. Yeah, it's fun. If you want to cook, if cooking makes you happy, cook, Bookie. Okay, don't eat it all by yourself though. Okay, but cook.
Yeah.
Okay, because the big bag of treat ain't healthy for the body. But if you love to cook, save your serving, and you can give plates to the homeless. That can bring you joy. But do the things that bring you the absolute utmost highest frequency of joy. That helps keep your mind clear. That helps to brighten your space. My therapist, also therapy, y'all. Again, Black folks therapy. Do it.
Yes.
Do it.
Do it.
Um, do it. My therapist gave me a thought because I asked her, I was like, what do you do when your brain just won't shut up about all the negative and it just keeps reminding you of all the crap? And she said that those thoughts are like ants. She said you can have an ant hill. You see the few coming out the top, but there's still some at the way, way bottom. And you can clean out the ant hill. And once everything is dead, you scoop off the ant hill, and there can still be some lying at the bottom. She said those thoughts, those are how deep your thoughts run. And she said oftentimes you don't get rid of all the ants. Some of them are just resilient, but what you do is you give your ants, and she called them automatic negative thoughts, ants. She said you give your ants food. You give
Mm,
them something else to feed off of. And that is your things that give you absolute joy. Because when that thing comes in and it's like, you ain't nothing, but like, nope, I did my dance class today. I am something. Thank you. My teacher said I did good. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like when your parents used to tell you if a boy called you ugly, you come back and say, no, my mama said I'm pretty. That's what you do. You
Okay.
know, that's what you do. You give yourself those good thoughts to combat all of that. And as over time, the ants will get smaller, the ants will go away. That you give yourself all that good. Choose the thing that gives you joy. Keep telling yourself you are good, you are great. You're not defined by what you do. You're not defined by what others say that you are. Make your own definition of yourself.
That is so true. So I'm definitely going to replay this and listen to it over and over again.
Mhm.
Um, I have this saying that I bring my Dave and Buster's wherever I go at. I
Yes.
bring my inner child. I bring my fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
Yes.
it's what life is, what you make of it. And I've learned to
Mhm.
just do what's going to make me happy as long as it's not hurting me or anybody else. Then
Exactly.
it's healthy.
Exactly.
So if I want to
Yes.
sit down and color,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm going to do. If I want to
Exactly.
sit outside in the cool breeze and just put my feet in the ground, I'm going to make time
Mm-hmm.
to do it because my inner child deserves happiness. And
Yes.
everyone else's inner child does too. And I've
Mhm.
learned that whenever we cater to that and we embrace, we hug and we heal our inner child, then we are so much better as adults.
Yeah.
We are
Yeah.
so much better friends, so much
Mm-hmm.
better children, sons and daughters, better aunts and uncles, better mothers and
Yeah.
fathers, better workers,
Yes.
better better citizens all around.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, someone said they can't see me.
Mhm.
Facebook is doing the most today.
It is. It is.
Carlos, how you doing, brother? Thank you for pointing that out. It's weird. I can see myself and I can see the camera projecting me onto the screen.
Honey.
But it's kind of weird that I don't know, maybe it's just this camera, but we'll see when we do the replay.
Yeah.
But we're basically talking about self-love,
Mm-hmm.
and our word of the week is self-esteem. And we have the great Eden Sharp on our line tonight, and she has spilled out more than a few gems. So if you were not here in the beginning, oh, only the bottom of my nose and down.
Interesting.
Weird. I can see my whole face from here.
Yeah. Listen, Facebook be Facebooking improperly sometimes.
Ooh. Okay. Wow. So if you're just getting into the chat, make sure you go back to the replay. I'm gonna make it available. Okay, they said it's better. I moved my
Okay.
table up a little bit.
Good.
Does anybody watching have any questions? Gonna give you space to ask. Do you have any projects coming up?
I have a few auditions. Um, I am excited. I was actually just cast in a Black animation series.
Oh, Oh,
Keeping Away from the Joneses. That'll be out. I think the pilot is coming out later this year, and then we'll be filming or recording the rest of the series, over time. So excited about that. They're by Twandre Tunes, and it's TOONZ on Facebook. Go check him out.
okay.
Great artist. And then no one project I can't talk about yet. But as far as something I'll be doing on my own, I'll probably be calling you for one of them.
Okay.
I have a few different sets of scripts. I have scripts that I can film right now, and then other ones that I tuck away because I know I'm gonna need a bigger budget. You know what I mean? Um, but it's that one is based off of what we talked about, the mourning the person that didn't show up. So yeah,
Well, that's incredible. I know
thank
you are
you,
going to do an amazing job.
thank
I
you.
see nothing but excellence.
I
You're gonna
appreciate it.
knock it out
Oh,
of the
listen,
park.
somebody said,
We got a question in the chat.
what is
Our first
yeah,
question. So it. Oh, hi, Prize Chick. How you doing?
doing good.
So, what's your question?
Okay. Mm, mm,
I'll let you take that,
mm.
Eden.
Um, First, I would say I'm going to say the sentence and then expand on it. But first, she has to start choosing herself. Um, and what that means is when you get inside of those relationships, the first thing that they will do is take her mind. That's how you isolate them away from friends and people. But she has to start choosing herself when she meets people. As soon as she sees one red flag, she has to say, you know what? I like you, but I like myself more. I like myself enough to not deal with this anymore. That's your start. Secondly, absolutely get her counseling. What counseling is going to do is give her an unbiased ear to talk to help her start to see her own patterns. If it's a repetitive thing, it means that there's something in her that's attaching to this kind of toxic love, and she's gonna have to do the work to figure out what that is so that she can stop choosing it. And oftentimes it can be an absent father, but it can also be an absent friend. It could also be an absent mother. It could be somebody who loved her the wrong way that made them think it was right, and most oftentimes that's through sex. Um, but she's got to get that counseling to help her undo those patterns so that she can start to see them plainly and be honest with herself. Secondly, do something that makes you feel good. If every day you wear the same lip gloss and that's your lip gloss, okay, if feeling good comes from that lip gloss, put that lip gloss on every single day. If your favorite color is pink and it makes you feel beautiful, wear it every single day. Keep it around you because you're giving your unconscious mind those cues of love and safety. She's got to restore her safety net for herself. Um, and I speak on this often just because I've had family members who have gone through that exact same thing. And it's so easy for all of us to say, you must like it, why you stay so long if it was that bad. But it's because we're outside looking in and people don't understand how badly somebody can take your mind and make you think that you need them. Um, so for her, if her favorite color is pink or blue, keep that around you because every time you see it, you're going to tell yourself, I'm safe. I feel pretty today. Affirmations are great too. I am whole. I am safe. I love myself. I take my power back. I believe in myself. I deserve a love that doesn't hurt me. I deserve a love that doesn't hit me. She's got to talk to her spirit at this point because, again, this can be a really, really bad repetitive cycle if she doesn't nip it at the bud. And she's got to start choosing herself in order to make that happen. Um, because it's possible. It'll take work, but it is possible. And she can get out of it and she can stay out of it. And when people come along who are nice, don't think that is a trick. It's so people, we can start rejecting good when we're so used to bad. So she's got to just look for cues of unsafety. And if it's not safe, stay away from it. But if somebody shows you they are safe and trustworthy, accept it as that because you deserve it. So, and if you want, you can DM me, and or have her DM me, and I'm more than open to talk to her. And her information will stay with me. Like I said, I have talked with other girls who have gone through this just because I've seen it. My mom survived it and she left. My sister survived it and she left. And so I know what it takes. And if she wants to talk to my mom, like I said, my mom been through it. She been through it. But every time my mom saw she was unsafe, she packed up, made sure my sister and I were safe, and she left. And it takes a lot of strength to do that, but she can do it. She can absolutely do it. And you restore your self esteem one brick at a time by doing those things, telling yourself, I am worthy, I am safe, I deserve love that doesn't hurt me, I deserve love that doesn't beat me, I deserve love that doesn't harm me. And you do it also by giving yourself that self care. Now, don't look like what you've been through. That was what I did. Don't sink in it. Don't stop caring about yourself. If every day you get up and wash your face after you haven't washed it for 6 months, that is an accomplishment and you celebrate that. You put your clothes on for the day, even if you're staying at home, because you're giving yourself that love, looking pretty, feeling
Yes.
pretty. If you aren't eating, baby, start out with a protein shake. Okay, it's like it's soft, it's simple, but you gotta feeding you right now, my body and spirit. If you pray, pray. If you don't, listen to meditation music and really go inside yourself to give yourself that love. It's a process. I won't say it's not, but if she is willing to do this work, she can do it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Very welcome.
What came to mind while Eden was speaking is that we all have a subconscious mind, and it's like a record that keeps playing, whether we acknowledge it or not. And if we're not careful, the record becomes negative. And we have to stop that sad song from playing. And so, like Eden was saying, we have to give ourselves positive affirmations. And sometimes it helps to write down the negative things that come to you. You know, just be honest and just write down, and then write down beside it the positive thing
Yeah.
that you're going to say to yourself every time that negative thing tries to show up. When you choose to empower the positive, choose to feed into the positive.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. That's good. Well, thank y'all.
Mhm.
That helps a lot.
Good, 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 good. So glad. That's
Uh,
ultimately the goal. Sometimes what we go through is not for ourselves, it's for other people. It really is. And if when she gets ready, she can then go and help other girls out of it. That's how you take your power back.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, y'all have a good night. I'm gonna stay on. If I have any more questions, I'll knock.
Absolutely.
that was my first time using the thingy where you can patch somebody in.
Good. Go you. I'm giving
Right,
you a
go me.
virtual high five. Go you.
That was incredible.
It was.
Uh, it
It
looks
really
like we
was.
have to end this live. It's been an hour already. That was fast.
Wow. It was. Went by real quick.
I'm definitely gonna replay. I'm grateful that you were able to still get on,
Thank you.
and I am looking for an even stronger recovery. You know,
Thank
right?
you.
You still have a great purpose,
Yes.
and I see that
Thank you so
you know,
much.
God is using you and has used you already to help out a lot of people. So thank you for sharing your light with us
It's
tonight on this
my
call.
honor. Thank you for having me and thinking of me to have me here. I'm grateful. If you need me again, you just let me know. I'll be right back.
All right. Now you know I got you. You hit me up if you need anything.
I will. Absolutely.
All right, everyone. That wraps up tonight's broadcast of Self Love, Eddie's Corner, brought to you by HT Hill Music and Entertainment LLC. Be sure to look out for our second episode of Inside Eddie. A lot of people are asking about it. It's still in post, it's still in editing. We're going to try to have a trailer out by the end of this month. Until then, continue to stay blessed, stay amazing, and keep on working on being your best self. We have so much
Absolutely.
more to look forward to. We have a great life ahead of us. Hang in there. Good night, everyone.
Good night.